Right, we're now joined by Udvir Sitram, Head of Analytics for FNB Business. He will unpack the role of female entrepreneurs in Africa's economy. Thank you very much for joining us, Udvir.
Thank you for having me.
Now, can you tell us about FNB Business findings that the number of female-owned business and entrepreneurs have increased significantly over the past 2 years?
So in 2012, we did a relaunch of the business banking image for South Africa. We attracted a whole lot of accounts that came over to bank with us, either from other banks or startup businesses. And there is where we found that we had a mixture of female and male-owned entrepreneurs. And since then, we've happened to see a steady increase in the number of female-owned businesses and female-owned entrepreneurs in our customer base.
In your research, were you able to pick out why there is that increase?
So the main barriers to entrepreneurship, especially for female entrepreneurs in this country, relate to either social or cultural, economic or legal. So at FNB, we've tried to remove the last two. We've tried to remove the legal barriers to starting a business. So for instance, we have our SIPC registration process where we cut down the registration time from 9 months to about 3 weeks by taking everything online. And we've also managed to take away economic, call it economic climate conditions from businesses that end up failing. So for instance, at the analytics department, we try to predict what is going to happen to that business in the next 3 months and what can we proactively do to help that business survive and thrive.
Now, women entrepreneurs and businesses still struggle, though, to get the same level of support as their male counterparts, as I'm sure is a known thing. Why is this?
So I believe that a lot of the time, the amount of risk-taking in female entrepreneurs seems to be a little bit less, simply because by taking risk, you stand a chance of failing. Right. And as a result, if you don't want to and sacrifice all of that hard work that you've done and putting your effort into building up this business, you might end up failing for that. So we try to develop solutions and products to help these entrepreneurs to go through those tough times. The first 2 years of any business are the toughest. If we can get you through the first 2 years, then we have a customer for life.
Now, business and entrepreneurship is known to be a sort of male-dominated domain. Yeah. Are we going to see that continue for a while, and how will women be drawn into business?
So I think in the short term at least that trend is going to continue, simply because as much as we do have female entrepreneurship increasing in this country, a lot of the time we also increase in the number of new businesses out there. So as much as we have more female entrepreneurship in our customer base, we also naturally will have more male entrepreneurship in our customer base as well. So we tend to find that if there is a need, a gap, as we've identified here, to start pushing that to have products and solutions to help female-owned businesses, we are going to have those in the pipeline to end up launching in the near future.
Perhaps a bit of a controversial question to ask someone from FNB, but why does it make a business sense or economic sense, really, for you to support a female-owned business?
So quite a shocking stat that I read in the one of the government gazettes. By 2030, the GDP of our country, the aim of government is to have 90% of that GDP contributed by small and medium enterprises. Yeah. So as a bank, we're trying to service government, we're trying to service our customers. If we can be the middle ground between those two parties, and if we can help push entrepreneurs to be successful and also contribute to the GDP figure, we're doing the best that we can.
And just in closing, you know, maybe if you could give some of the women advice who are really on the verge of giving up due to whatever it is, logistical problems or lack of support, what advice can you give those women?
The hardest is the very first step. A lot of female entrepreneurs have amazing ideas, but they don't actually execute that because of the risk of failure, as I mentioned earlier. So I would suggest that at the very first, make sure that your business plan is sound. Make sure that your idea is sound. Once you have that, take that very first step, because you'll be surprised on how you can actually end up growing your business for that. So we are in the process of developing those type of products to help those entrepreneurs come up with good business cases, make sure that the business cases are solid enough for us to retain those customers and have a very good banking relationship with them.
All right. Thank you very much, Udvir. Very informative. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you very much.
That's Udvir Sitram, Head of Analytics for FNB Business, speaking to us in our Johannesburg studio.